Hope y'all are ready for some dark content. This is Asia LaShawn Ferguson IV. On June 28, 2008, he and his peers from the Oakley Baptist Church took a trip to Six Flags. At one point, the 17-year-old rode the very popular Batman ride, a ride now infamous for many reasons. It was on this ride where he lost his hat when it went cascading down to the restricted areas below. Now, obviously I don't know much about Asia personally, and reports don't really fill you in on who he was as a person much, but obviously he found this hat important enough to break some very important rules. Once on the ground, he took it upon himself to scale 2 6-foot-tall fences clearly marked for danger, leading to these restricted areas. He found his hat, but tragedy struck when it became very clear why the area was restricted. See, any veterans know that the Batman's carriage is allowed to drop very low for the sake of thrills, and also allows your legs to dangle for that extra adrenaline. And before Asia could retrieve his hat, he was struck by the carriage and a leg going at 55 miles an hour. Asia was subsequently decapitated by the force. Officials initially ordered the coaster to be shut down for the week, but it was kept closed a bit longer due to investigative reasons. Unfortunately, this would not be the only time the Batman would take a life in such a gruesome fashion. But Asia's death was, of course, ultimately ruled an accident. Signs are there for a reason, my friends. Be safe. Hope you all are ready for some dark content. This is SCP-4666, aka the Yule Man. Object Class Keter. One of the more terrifying in my opinion. SCP-4666 is, simply put, a humanoid figure that travels around the world, killing families and kidnapping children. SCP-4666 only becomes active for 12 nights a year, starting on December 22nd.
Oh crap.
And going through to January 2nd. It manifests and seemingly teleports to any location above 40° north latitude. Once there, it will designate a household and family, always with 1 or more children under the age of 8. On the first 7 nights of its active period, the children of the household will see it around their abode, usually standing off in the distance. Occasionally, the children will awake to see a figure standing outside their window, watching them sleep. On the 8th through the 11th night, the entire family, including adults, will start to hear footsteps on the ceiling or in the attic, followed by a putrid smell, described by many survivors as a haunting. On the 12th and final night, one of 2 scenarios could happen. In the least common scenario, no physical harm will come to the family. Footsteps will have been heard, but no forced entry will have been observed. However, the next morning, the children will wake to find toys at the foot of their bed, crudely crafted from the body parts of deceased children. In the most common case, though, all members of the victimized family will be restrained and herded into a single room where SCP-4666 will proceed to murder each of the family members in front of each other. with the exception of one member who will be spared but abducted. Can you guess where the abducted child is headed? Happy holidays. Y'all ready for some dark content? This is Romisha Sims. Back in 2015, she appeared in Charles County Circuit Court, where she could have faced trial, and entered an Alford plea to the involuntary manslaughter of her son, JR. An Alford plea is where the defendant does not admit guilt, but still acknowledges that there was enough evidence to convict. She was ultimately found not criminally responsible or not guilty by reason of insanity by the judge. According to the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Sims placed JR in a swing in Wills Memorial Park in La Plata, Maryland on the morning of May 20th, 2015. About 40 hours later, she was found still pushing him in the swing. He wasn't wearing a jacket or shoes, and he had been dead for several hours. His death was ruled a homicide, and Sims was charged with first-degree child abuse, manslaughter, and child neglect, and initially faced nearly 45 years in prison. Several experts concluded that Sims was suffering from a mental disorder at the time of JR's death. This led to leniency from the judge, who decided that Sims was also no danger to herself or others. Eventually, she was conditionally released in order to maintain her mental health treatments. This is a truly heartbreaking story of loss, but more so a testament to how important mental health is. Ask all the right questions and reach out for help if you need it. The mind is a terrible thing to play with.